Across the cryptocurrency landscape, the term decentralization is used loosely. Almost every project claims it, yet few actually achieve it. When we look deeper into validator concentration, governance structures, foundation control, and custody points, what emerges is a pattern of recentralization. Delegated proof of stake systems often consolidate power into a small number of actors. Foundations act as gatekeepers. In some networks, even smart contracts depend on private infrastructure for execution or price feeds. ERGO takes a fundamentally different approach. Its architecture is built around the principle that decentralization must exist at every layer, in consensus, computation, and social governance. Proof of work, often dismissed as inefficient, remains the only mechanism that is truly leaderless, where consensus emerges from computation, not appointment. No validators to trust, no committees to follow, only miners who compete on open, verifiable terms. This is not nostalgia for Bitcoin's origins. It's an acknowledgement that trustlessness is not an aesthetic choice. It's a security model. At a technical level, ERGO's extended UTXO model expands upon Bitcoin's UTXO framework by enabling fully expressive smart contracts while retaining determinism and auditability. In other words, ERGO bridges Bitcoin's mathematical discipline with Ethereum's programmability, but without introducing hidden trust assumptions. The architecture enforces local verifiability. Every contract, every off-chain component, and every front end can be independently replicated. That means an application on ERGO can run without dependence on any central server or opaque logic. This local replication property is essential to true decentralization. It guarantees that no actor, developer, foundation, or intermediary can impose control or censorship. Users don't just interact with code, they can own the infrastructure. One of the failures of modern finance and increasingly of modern crypto is the misunderstanding of risk. Centralized systems manage risk through control, through opaque committees, rate manipulation, or regulation. In Bitcoin and ERGO, risk is managed through assumptions, explicit, transparent, and mathematically verifiable. The parameters of issuance, reward, and consensus are known to everyone. No meetings on a hill, no smoke signals of policy change. Contrast that with traditional monetary systems. A few people in a closed room determine the cost of money, and the rest of the world speculates on their next move. Crypto was meant to end that ritual, to fix the rules so that economies could be built on set expectations. Unfortunately, much of the industry has drifted from that goal. High-leverage trading, speculative tokenomics, and foundation-driven governance have turned decentralization into a slogan. ERGO's conservative, research-first approach stands in opposition to that trend. It's not about hype cycles or short-term yields. It's about stable assumptions, tested code, and verifiable behavior. Every blockchain carries two systems: a technical system and a social system. In the technical layer, we can code trustlessness. In the social layer, it's harder. The crypto industry often replaces institutions with personalities, founders, influencers, or charismatic leaders. Trust me becomes the new consensus mechanism. That's not decentralization, it's delegation by emotion. ERGO's culture intentionally rejects the leader dynamic. Proof of work reinforces that structure. It's leaderless, merit-based, and apolitical. It doesn't require belief in a personality. It only requires participation. This also makes ERGO's ecosystem unusually collaborative. Developers contribute anonymously, builders work publicly, and innovation is treated as a shared pursuit, not a product line. In that sense, ERGO resembles the early internet, open, cooperative, and anti-fragile. A decentralized network is only as strong as its social trust model. ERGO's trust model is not faith in people, but confidence in open process. Security in decentralized systems is not a snapshot, it's a continuum. It begins with research, matures through implementation, and hardens through time. ERGO's development philosophy aligns with that. Many of its primitives, such as Sigma protocols, stateless contracts, and Oracle frameworks, originate from academic research, then undergo public testing and open iteration. This iterative conservatism is rare. In most of crypto, marketing drives code velocity. New protocols appear weekly, often untested and unaudited. ERGO takes the opposite route, slow, verifiable, and open source. Because in distributed systems, time is the ultimate audit. Innovation here means extension, not reinvention. Instead of chasing every narrative, ERGO strengthens core primitives: privacy, consensus, and contract design. This is the kind of engineering that endures. We are entering an era where every transaction can be tracked, logged, and correlated. Central bank digital currencies, surveillance blockchains, and KYC linked assets are normalizing total visibility. That's not progress, it's regression to absolute control. In that context, privacy is not a feature, it's resistance. ERGO approaches privacy as a multi layered problem. At the protocol level, through cryptographic techniques like Sigma protocols, at the application level through composable contracts, and at the social level by ensuring no centralized entity dictates who can or cannot participate. The idea is not toy privacy, not cosmetic obfuscation, but structural privacy. Systems where your participation cannot be involuntarily revealed or restricted. Because without privacy, there is no true decentralization. As the industry evolves, lines are being drawn between regulated and unregulated, custodial and non-custodial, bearer and non-bearer assets. ERGO's architecture acknowledges that complexity and offers optionality. Through mechanisms like whitelisting frameworks and modular compliance layers, ERGO enables voluntary interaction with regulatory systems without compromising its non-custodial base. The goal is inclusion by design. Users choose their level of exposure and risk. This approach acknowledges political reality without conceding the philosophical foundation of decentralization. Open source code is more than transparency, it's resilience. Closed systems die when their owners disappear. Open systems evolve. ERGO's open development process means that every improvement, every tool, every smart contract can be forked, extended, or repurposed. That's what gives the network its anti-fragility. Good ideas, once open sourced, are almost impossible to kill. This is where proof of work complements open source culture. Both rely on participation, not permission. The more participants, whether miners, developers, or users, the more robust the system becomes. In the long arc of time, the only assets that will retain value are those that resist control. Everything else will converge toward centralization, because centralization is efficient. But efficiency is not freedom. In the noise of social media, crypto often loses sight of its purpose. Narratives come and go, prices fluctuate, and yet the fundamental question remains. Why are we building this? ERGO's answer is consistent: to build systems that distribute power, not concentrate it; to design software that is not just decentralized by topology but by intention. This requires clarity, clarity of design through open code and verifiable assumptions, clarity of risk through transparent parameters, clarity of purpose through commitment to state resistance and individual sovereignty. Without that clarity, decentralization becomes a brand, not a principle. The future of crypto will not be decided by speculation, but by architecture. Networks like ERGO, which prioritize verifiability over velocity and openness over convenience, are quietly laying the foundations for long-term resilience. When you remove leaders, committees, and trust-based governance, what remains is responsibility. Each miner, each developer, each user becomes a peer in the truest sense. In a time when control is being coded into money, decentralization is not just a technical design, it is the last political act.